Today we're going to be covering mastering your digital brand. We have Sarah Bonner from Zillow Group, we have Matt Laricy from AmeriCorp, and we have Karen McCormick from At Property. Please give them a welcome. So, what's the line that you separate that you say, I personally choose not to go to talk about this in my personal life?
I literally have no line. I filmed my wife giving birth to her kid, and you know, there were some moments where she's like, "Can you stop this?" And I was like, "Who cares?" You know, I mean, the thing is that you know,
she does.
Yeah. I mean, she
has a line. She don't.
She did and she didn't. Like, I mean, at that moment, I don't think she really knew what was going on. But my point is that like, for me, I don't feel like there's any like separation where I feel like uncomfortable sharing something. I'm kind of like an open book, and you know, a lot of people get nervous about showing aspects of their family and stuff, and I just think like if we're gonna brag and show so much about the business, I want to show them like about our flaws that we have behind the scenes too.
So you blended together.
Totally. I think the biggest problem I see when you talk about like social media, I think is consistency. I think a lot of people will do something and then like stop it because they think like they didn't get what they wanted out of it,
Yep.
and then they'll do something else and then they stop it. And I think like, you know, maintaining that same message throughout all the platforms. So like I know a lot of people do what you do where it's like, you know, they do one thing on LinkedIn, one thing on Instagram, one thing on Facebook. So like for us, like I know that some people only want to go on Instagram. I know some people only want to go on Facebook. So if they only see the Facebook version myself and then someday they pick up Instagram and it's totally different, like I projected myself not to be exactly who I was, and then I kind of lost my authenticity with my consumers out there. So I try to remain and do the same thing consistently across all platforms all the time. A lot of agents out there, you'll try something, you'll do it for a couple of months, you're like, oh, I don't see a rate of return on my thing, so I'm gonna pull out of it right away. I feel like a minimum of 6 months you can see until something actually works. Sure. That's the way I mentally approach things. So I look at like social media more as like branding yourself. And like if you get a sale off it, great. But like if you run into somebody like, hey, I like that picture you post or something like that, then I know it works. And if you do it enough, you'll get that. But like I look at like online advertising as its own platform. So a lot of people only look at Zillow about like one for one. Like if I spend $30-something thousand and I only make $25,000 this month off it, they look at it as a loss. I think that's a really bad way to look about it. If I look at I closed $25,000 in business off Zillow, I'm going to make $50,000 next year off it because each one of those people, I'm pretty good that I did a good job at it, is going to be $50,000 next year because they're all going to give me at least one referral. Find one website that works for you. Invest in it. Invest in one zip code that you know really well, and work it until you're the master, until like you kind of conquered it. And once you do that really well, go to the next platform and own the zip code on there. And before you know it, in a 3 to 4 year span, you're gonna own that zip code on every single platform there is. And then once you own that, move on to the next one. Grab another zip code from there. Now you can do 2. Do it one website. And that's literally what I did. I just built it. You have to work the little leads. And the biggest problem is agents start seeing success off these websites, and you start saying like, hey, I'm too big to work $150,000 to $250,000 lead. The reality is the only way to ever make money off any one of these websites is to work the $150,000 to $250,000 leads. Because you'll get 10 of those before you get one $500,000 lead. And if you don't work that $150,000 or $250,000 lead, or you don't have somebody on your team that's gonna work it till they're gonna die, you'll never make money off it. What I've been trying to do lately, and this is the God-awful truth, is like I don't care about the property they're calling on. I don't care about anything on it. I will try to avoid answering anything about that place because like the reality is they've already talked to 4 other people that told them about the place. So like I always talk about like, listen, you're about to make the largest investment you've ever made in your entire life. And you're gonna call the guy that called you back in 2 minutes, or you wanna call the guy that called you back in 5 minutes that sells all the business in Chicago? Which one is it up to you? And I'm not like a total dick the way it sounds like right now. But my
Definitely
goal,
sounds like it for sure.
I know. I'm coming off as harsh. But you gotta try to stand out. I mean, the way I look at it, when I look at leads, I look at how am I gonna stand out from the other 85 people that just called them, or all the other people they talked to. Some people are gonna like your personality, some people aren't. That's just the way life works. I try to bring value. So what's the value I'm gonna bring to these people when the lead comes to me? How am I gonna stand out and star in this little scenario? Other than being like, yeah, I'll show you that $200,000 property, and I show them, then like I try to convert them as like walking away, and then like you look like, all right, see ya. Kind of like going off what you said though, like if you're gonna invest in any like platform, whether it be social media or a website or something like that, people should be able to find you. I mean, I see a lot of people who like crush it on like spend like $20,000 on Zillow and they'll Google your name, I can't find you. Like I would probably say 5 times a day minimum, I will Google somebody because I need like to negotiate a deal or something like that, and on the MLS it's just their office number. So I Google them to find their cell phone number, and I can't find their cell phone number. And I'm always like, how is this person in business? Like who chose to work with this person if I can't find their cell phone number and they're in sales? like to me, like I don't know if you guys know how Google works. It's a pretty big platform. If you Google yourself and you don't have like a business profile claimed, like it's a huge miss. It's like the biggest miss out there. You actually get higher ranking just to have a business profile on Google. And then if you have Google reviews, they rank you even higher. So like getting reviews shouldn't just be getting reviews on just like one website. You should be reviewing on every single website out there. Like anything that allows reviews, you should be getting reviews on. And when you ask your clients for reviews, get them on all of them. Whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or you can't get on Instagram, but Yelp, Google, all this stuff, every single one, because most people are gonna cross-reference you. I know all the time, I go on appointments and people are like, you know what, you had great Zillow reviews, but I looked at every single other website and you had just as many good reviews. And the other guy I interviewed had good Zillow reviews, but he didn't even have like a Google profile. I'm like, totally, see, great, hire us. Right, if you did a good job to your client, and like I get it, we get paid, okay? But you know, at the end of the day, we're still working. Like if you did a really good job for your client and they liked you, like and all you're asking is one thing, like can you take 5 seconds out of your day to write a small paragraph about me, and they're not willing to do it, then you probably didn't do that good of a job.
Thanks everybody, we'll see you at the next session.